Hey Danny, how you doing, man? Not great, I gather from our previous conversation.
Yeah. I'm all right. I'm all right now. I've had a swig of coke, a shot of cocaine. I'm all right.
A shot of... That's how Danny takes it. Is he dissolves it into water. He's got one of them. It's like a protein. You know those protein shaker things.
Protein
but, like,
cocaine.
They have those little what are they? I don't even. There's got to be a word for it that I don't know because I've never been to a gym in my life. But like they're sort of cups.
Oh,
you
yeah,
fill them
yeah.
with water and put the protein powder in, obviously. But then they also have this little sort of pine coney plastic thing in that keeps the protein powder dissolved in the liquid.
Yeah.
That's what Danny has. Is he has a bottle with like one of those with a little pine cone in, but the pine cone is filled with cocaine.
Yeah, it's called like Brain Force or something like that, and there's like a guy who's topless on it for some reason.
Brain Force.
Yeah, Brain Force. Get this the next biggest scam to waste all your money when you could have just went out a run.
Oh god, that's the thing that gets me a lot about these diets and things. Is like I get that like a structured diet, it can help give people a feeling of control over that aspect of life, and great if that's what you're looking for, then who the hell am I to stop you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does blow my mind that so many fads have come and gone in a world where the solution essentially is eat less, do more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm chunky myself, but I value the food more than I value a lower weight.
Yeah.
I'm no longer... well, at this point, I'm not overweight enough to be like severely ill or anything. So I'm. Do you know what I mean? I'm fine with it.
I mean, it's basic science, you know. If you take in more calories than you burn off, you're gonna put weight on, and it's not easy to lose weight because I lost a stone, right, and I'm still flabby. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll do it for 5 weeks and I'll come out shredded like Captain America. No, that's bollocks. You do it for fucking ages, and then maybe you'll get to that. But these people, these fucking movie stars have got personal trainers and they've got fucking multi-million-dollar things to do it. So it's like,
and it's this sort of mythical body standard in a way, which is true for every kind of body image you can imagine. There's this mythical standard.
yeah,
I remember reading this interview with Michael Fassbender where, like, because he was in 300, he filled up the lineup of the Spartan Warriors.
Uh-huh.
I think it was one of his early roles, or I say this, I have no idea. But as with all the other Spartan Warriors, he was like really ripped and shredded, and he had like the spear and the shield and the cape and all that.
yeah.
And he said the training regime for that literally made him throw up at least twice a day.
Fuck's sake.
For however long. And it's like, Jesus Christ. I like... going off all that sort of body image fury that we've somehow found ourselves to 3 minutes into the podcast, the most sort of positive thing I've read or listened to or whatever about body image was a podcast. I think I've spoken about it on this podcast actually, where somebody was interviewing a specialist in body image and what that means for the human psyche and what that means for who we are as people and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And this specialist said, at the end of the day, your body is kind of just a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be cleaned, repaired, maintained, etc., etc. And if it can no longer do the jobs of that tool, then maybe you have a problem. But
yeah.
Who, if you're using a screwdriver for a job, who, what's the point of somebody else coming in and saying, well, that doesn't work, but you're screwing a screw into something? It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it.
That's the way I view it. I like at this point in my life, I have no trouble lugging boxes about the place. And
Yeah.
the other day, I pushed a set of drawers down the stairs, and it was stressful as fuck. But I managed it.
I've even got to say, I'm of the opinion that I take a sort of Ron Swanson approach to weight and
Taxation is theft.
not that one. The one where he says, if you want to blow up to 380 pounds, you can. You are free to do so, and that is it. It's like, yeah, do that if you want. I mean, it's not healthy, and but it's your fucking life. Do what you want. It's not my place to tell you what. It's no one's place. I think that's a sentiment that everyone should be getting on board with. Because I don't care. I don't have time to be worrying about you and what you're eating. I'm worrying about what I'm eating.
I spend too much time consumed with existential dread to be concerned with what you look like.
Yeah.
If I'm on the bus and I look stressed out, it's not because of what you're doing or wearing or saying. No, it's because I'm consumed with stress.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own pile of shit to worry about. And do you know what I mean? Just do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel fulfilled.
As long as no one's getting hurt.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Don't go out and like kick cats. I'm not saying that. I'm
trying to avoid kicking cats if at all possible.
As long as you don't harm anyone else, do what you want.
Speaking of cats, my cat scratched me the other day.
Wow. Fucking hell.
To be honest, it was completely my fault. I do not blame the cat in any way.
That sounds like an abusive relationship, Lewis. That sounds...
Yes, I have an abusive relationship with my cat.
He did, she didn't mean it. She gets angry. It was my fault. I provoked it. It's like, no, that is like, oh my, that is scarily sounding like an abusive relationship.
Let me paint the story, to be honest with you. The cat was lying on my left... As I was sat on the sofa, the cat was lying on my left side.
Right.
Like, on its back, with, like, belly exposed sort of thing. And it was looking at me, and I was stroking her, and I was sort of stroking her belly just gently, because cats sometimes like that, sometimes don't. So I was, like, sort of tentatively like, please don't scratch me, please don't scratch me, please don't scratch me.
Yeah.
And she was fine. And then I lifted my hand off her stomach I changed the channel on the TV, or I was getting a drink or something like that. And then I sort of, without even thinking, I looked back down and she was asleep, and I carried on. And it sort of startled her awake. She went, oh fuck! And then jumped off the sofa. And in the fury and the flurry of jumping off the sofa, I think she just caught me gently with her claw. Because it's like, I give myself worse cuts on the fingers every day when I'm making food. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you see what I mean? That is entirely my fault. If I came into a room where you were asleep and I started rubbing your belly like you were a dog, do you know what I mean? I would not be surprised to get a punch to the face.
No, I wouldn't. I would stab you to death, but no, no, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, what are you doing? Why did you come up to Scotland? I like that idea. I like that idea that you've just came all the way up from England to stroke my stomach in the hopes of getting a punch to the face.
You wake up and see me and I just bolt out of your house
to
the train station, back to England.
God's sake. But you wouldn't claim that one was your fault, would you? You'd be like, I mean, all I did was buy a train ticket up to his house, break in and start...
Oh, God. All I did was buy a room. All I did was Airbnb a room at the house across the street from him. That's all I did.
All I did was buy night vision gear and... fuck's sake. Oh, God.
All I did was get those gloves from Mission Impossible that Tom Cruise used to climb up the side of that building. All I did was get those. Come on now.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Did it cost me months and millions of pounds in R&D? That is nothing to do with the story. So why should it matter?
Did I have to take down his meticulous daily routine in order to find an opening to stroke his stomach? Oh, God. Please don't do that, Lewis. Please don't break into my house and try to touch me. Oh, God.
Have you got this image now of me renting an Airbnb across from you or something? And you know that bit in Friends when they tape together like 30 chopsticks and then poke the guy across the street? Just imagining me across the street sort of taping together chopsticks fervently and then just like reaching across and just poking you in the face where you're asleep and you wake up like, is that a fly that's trying to land on my face? And you wake up, grab the stick, and I'm just like, oh, fuck!
What would be even more disturbing is that you would have to knock down a family home in order to build an Airbnb to get across my house. So you'd fund the planning permission to create a hotel across from my street just to spy on me?
I mean, all I have is money and time. That's all I have.
Oh, God. I mean, we haven't even spun the wheel, but I think we're at the 10-minute bullshit mark.
Yeah. I mean, I think let's do a lightning round of bullshit. Spin the wheel and let's do a lightning round.
Okay. I mean, the thing that I had prepared is probably going to take like a wee while.
No, lightning round. Come on.
Did I mention I hate children?
You have mentioned this to me on several occasions.
Okay, so
children are both good and bad. It depends what they do. It's hard to come to a conclusion on that subject. It's very complex. Okay, who's in this film, Danny? What are we doing today?
No. You've opened a fucking can of worms, Lewis. Okay, so I was at my job today.
All right. Okay.
And it was lunchtime, and I'm on the door duty, which means that I have to sort of allow the children to come in and say, okay, two in. There's two people left, so two more can come in. So that's my job.
Do you have a T-shirt that says bouncer?
No, I don't even stand.
Can you request one?
I can't be bothered. I just sort of lean on the walls freezer, and so I get quite I take my job very seriously, and
yes, I'm sure.
The kids seem to have this overwhelming urge to make as much mess as possible, and then leave. So that sort of annoys me a wee bit, you know. And there was one particular incident. Now I have a rule that if you cross the door line before I've given you permission to, you're barred for the day. So I say to them before we even start, if you cross that line without me saying so, you're not getting in and you're not getting served, and you can try again tomorrow. So that's the one rule that all must abide by.
Right.
So they were all pushing, and this poor guy who'd been waiting in line for ages and ages, because there was a huge number of them today, and he was just minding his own business. And what happened, Lewis?
Did he cross the line?
He get pushed over the line.
Oh,
inadvertently.
Well, that opens a can of worms within this can of worms.
Yeah, but did I give a fuck? No, I didn't. So I said, "Back, you're barred for the day. Try again tomorrow." And he was like, "I know, but I get pushed." I said, "Well, blame it on them. You run with the crows, you get shot with them. See you later." And he
did he say, "But crows fly, they don't run"?
No, he didn't. And if he'd have said that, I would have made it a week. So
oh God.
I'm concerned that what this job is doing to me, especially at the door, is turning me into an embittered human being who abuses the small nodes of power that he has. Because the only power
my next point was going to be,
the only authority that he can cling on to is stand at a door and tell children to come in and out. So that's the only bit of control he has on his life. That sounds like a great TV show, doesn't it?
Does it?
Where he just this, you know, to the grind sort of employee who's really sort of drained by the whole sort of capitalist system, just is so embittered and and it just festers, and he doesn't have a very good, or they don't have a very good life, and they're put in this door duty, and they have to sort of wave people in and out, and they get some sort of sadistic thrill of turning people away, and it just spirals out of control. That'd be a great TV show. I'd watch that. Or you could get Louis Theroux to do a documentary on me.
You could. The thing I was about to say, as you were sort of halfway through that is exactly like that. I think that was the personal philosophy of all the sort of teachers and staff members and stuff that I had conflicts with in high school.
Yeah.
Because by and large in high school, I wasn't popular. I wasn't unpopular. People largely felt fairly neutral about me. So, oh yeah, is that weirdo? Does that acting or whatever? Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I was very polarizing amongst members of staff. There was quite a few teachers that genuinely just hated me.
Yeah.
Because my philosophy was, no, everything is a democracy. If I think this piece of work doesn't need to be done, I will make that very plain. So I seem like the exact kind of teenager that you absolutely hate.
Yeah, but I hate teachers, right? And I hate sort of authority figures, just instinctively. But now I understand. If your day consists of dealing with little shits who have no respect for you whatsoever and constantly undermine you and contradict you at every fucking level, how could you not become this embittered, sort of mad, power-crazed person who will clutch any hope of sort of control that they have, and it would take some sort of incredibly altruistic person to not get angry and abuse that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm a fucking doorman, for God's sake, and here I am turning this poor guy away who's been pushed over by his idiot friends, and now I realise, Jesus Christ, I would be so like I just hate that person who wouldn't let me in forever, and rightly so.
Are you having a crisis?
I've become the monster that I so wanted. You have become the very thing you swore to destroy. So I don't know, but that was my day.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, let's talk about why. Let's talk about why sentient life is fucked.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, what films are we talking about today?
Do you ever just feel like having a cry to yourself? We're talking about You Got Me. Toy Story 3 and 4. So we're carrying on from last week. I hope you enjoyed me ruining your childhood. Toy Story 3 was written by Michael Arndt. It was directed by Lee Unkrich.
Fucking hell, I've forgotten about this.
Who knows?
Toy Story. Which film is this?
It's the third one. It's the Unkrich.
The director?
Yeah.
I'd go for Unkrich. Either Unkrich or Unkrich.
What do you mean? I forgot about this. You don't know how to pronounce it either. You're going for. I just go for.
The thing that gets me about this situation is that every single episode of this podcast we do, whether it's this or Doctor Who or Rick and Morty,
it's not every name.
A name that you've written down in some way and gone, oh, that looks like.
No. It's not every name. It's just the ones that I'm not familiar with. Maybe
it does tickle me.
Maybe people should just have like numbers for second names, because that would make my job a whole lot easier.
Maybe we should redesign the entire world naming system exclusively around the needs of you. Yeah. Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's right. Look, watch this, right? And it's starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack, Don Rickles, Wallace Shawn, and John Ratzenberger. So it's not me. It's these fucking names. I blame Lee Unkrich for his name.
Well, I'm sure he's sat somewhere
crying,
spontaneously furious, and he doesn't know why.
Yep.
He doesn't realise there's a podcast called Shouting Into the Void.
Yep.
He doesn't realise there's two weirdos discussing the exact etymology of his name. But he's sat somewhere and he's just suddenly furious. Yep. And he's picked up his coffee that he was drinking and he's thrown it across the wall, and now he's just realised he's going to have to repaint the room because coffee stains like a motherfucker. So it
certainly does.
Sake. And now he's gone to get some paint out of his attic.
Exactly. And the fourth film was written by Andrew Staunton and fuck's sake, Stephanie Folsom.
Way.
Yep, and it was directed by Josh Cooley, and it is starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Annie Potts, Tony Hale, Wallace Shawn, and John Ratzenberger again.
Well, hey.
So there you go.
Okay, Danny, do you have an opening statement?
I do, yeah. Films about loss and moving on. Not as happy as I remember. Despite all the humour, I just see a rather existential scream at our fear of abandonment, and Jesus, it hurts.
Further explanation of this fascinating concept, about which I have an endless number of questions. I love it, and I'm looking forward to helping coax Danny out of his sadness, or he'll drag me down. I'm not sure which is going to happen.
Do you know what? I've always strived to be sort of contrarian, Lewis, right? But I'm so pessimistic that now that itself has become a trend. So now I have to become optimistic again. Because people expect me to be a miserable bastard. So now I have to curb their expectations by being really positive and lovey and dovey.
Maybe we should get baseball caps that say, make Danny optimistic again. We could make them red, and then we could hold rallies to make you optimistic again.
Yeah. I like... I'm agreeing with you because I'm just so done. I like that hat that you were talking about. Make red hats ambivalent again, or I think that's a good idea. I mean, because
the problem is you'd have people sort of see it in the distance and go, "Is that person wearing a Make America Great Again hat?"
Yeah.
And they'd approach you, and by the time they're 10 feet away and could actually read your hat,
they'd already swung back.
To actually give a shit.
They'd already swung back with a fist clenched. Fuck's sake. Let's talk about the films.
Okay.
I've got to say, out the gate, Lotso is the best villain the Pixar Rogues Gallery has to offer, hands down.
I do like Lotso very much.
Yeah.
Because he's a villain that's been embittered by circumstance. Oh, I suppose lots of other Pixar villains. But it's in a way that, like...
Sounds like my job.
But he's kind of... The point I'm trying to slowly make my way around to is that it's a conclusion we've already come to.
Yeah.
For us, it's strange that the other toys don't think like Lotso.
Yeah.
Is that like, well, yeah, he's kind of right. We are living in this disposable society where people are like, oh yeah, Lotso, fucking, let's get him in the bin.
Yeah.
He smells a bit funny. Chuck him in the bin. Do you know? And then it's just a constant cycle. Do you know what I mean? And it's why does Woody think it's good that he has to follow Andy around everywhere?
Yeah.
And then follow Bonnie around everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of really quite horrible because Lotso gets his heart broken by Daisy, I believe his owner was called, and then he becomes sort of misanthropic about human beings because, you know, they see us as trash, but still he is still sort of attending to the needs of these human beings despite the fact that he rejects their sort of ownership over them. So he's still sort of entrenched in that I am a toy, I am property, I am a possession, but all he can do now is have, fuck's sake, like myself, a small amount of power in a fucking daycare centre and just abuse it to the extent that he feels emotionally fulfills him. So it's really quite horrible.
Do you reckon toys would benefit from having sort of widespread available therapy?
Yeah, maybe.
So Lotso could go and be like, but I'm just a possession, I don't have, like, anything. And then the therapist would be like, no, but you matter.
Yeah.
And Lotso would have a redemption arc.
That could... I wouldn't like him having a redemption arc. Because he's a very good warning, I think. For sort of...
I think the problem with Lotso having a redemption arc would be that there needs to be a fundamental change to the system for his redemption arc to qualify as a thing that happens in the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if he has a redemption arc and he goes, actually, no, I think that this system is now brilliant. It's such a horrendous 180. It'll snap your neck as a U-turn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But there needs to be a situation where it's like, oh no, actually, this specific different alternative method of being a toy could be good. I mean, I know we're kind of talking about Toy Story 3, but in Toy Story 4, that's what I thought they were going to go with.
Yeah.
It's a specific alternate living style of being a toy, of being with Duke Kaboom, who is one of my favourite characters of all time, and being with Bo Peep what is it they do? They reunite toys with their lost owners or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Or give them new ones. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh shit, I forgot.
Was it Kaboom?
It was Kaboom. Of course, it was Kaboom.
Fantastic. Kaboom!
I love Keanu Reeves.
So do I, man.
He's such a human, isn't he? You know?
Yes. Plus, he's one of the few sort of big Hollywood stars that seems to have a very sort of empathetic life.
Yeah.
in that, like, I think for the Matrix he got paid $8 million.
Wow.
And I think he kept $2 million and said, well, I think this is pretty much all I'll ever need ever again. And then donated $6 million to charity. And then I think going from then onwards, I think he still negotiates higher salary because of some kind of nonsense bureaucracy about, like, I think stunt people get paid relative to the people they're doing the stunts for.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think he still negotiates higher salaries for that reason. But then he still donates a lot of his money to charity. He lives a very modest life.
Yeah.
He's who I want to be when I grow up.
I mean, I've got to say, let's see, we're veering off topic a wee bit, but see these actors that claim like something ridiculous, like fucking 40 million a film or something like that. That is unacceptable in my eyes.
Yes, completely.
I would say no. Don't give me 40 million. Give me $1 million. Give me 500,000 and use the rest to make a really good fucking film. How about that? And then you'll have such a chunk of change over that you can give it the rest to charity. It's like, no, give me 40 million. Let's make a really shitty film that no one likes, but I get paid, so it's fine.
I couldn't agree more. It's ridiculous. I hate this concept of having that insane volume of money. Like the classic example is Robert Downey Jr. Getting paid such insane sums of money.
I know.
I actually looked into this. He's somehow negotiated into his contract that he wanted as percentage of the what's the word? The revenue from the films. So like, say for Endgame, which is now the highest grossing film of all time. Because they had a second cinematic re-release just to push it over the top. But, like, do you know what I mean? He gets 1% of 300 billion. Do you know what I mean? That's an insane amount of money.
It really is. It's quite disgusting, to be honest. I'm trying to think about what I was going to say. I forgot.
Well, I have a long and intensive series of questions.
Go on.
So, I hope this helps. I sort of went down a bit of an alleyway here. In that, like, I was thinking about Lotso and how he's sort of embittered by reality, and he's trying to strike this thing he's trying to have is almost like a separate society.
Yeah.
And so is Bo Peep and her mates in Toy Story 4. Is they're trying to have this separate, distinct society, separate from the humans, separate from the rest of the toys. They want just like almost like a colony.
Yeah.
So, in theory, knowing the number of toys there are, knowing the density of toys there are, could there be a toy uprising? Like storming the gates, pitchforks in hand, that sort of thing.
I don't...
Consider the number of human beings on the world, and the fact that toys can't die.
Yeah.
And the number of toys on the world, I reckon, could you fight off, I don't know, 6 action men that cannot die?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bat them away from you, but then 30 seconds later they'll be back pummeling your shins or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Could they between them pick up a knife? Could they between them pick up a gun?
Right, I've got 2 points to make on that, right?
Okay.
First one, get ready for your mind to be blown.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chucky is a toy revolutionary.
Perhaps Chucky is a toy revolutionary. That makes him a freedom fighter in a strange way, doesn't it?
Yeah, the murderous psycho doll with the soul of a serial killer. Yeah, but anyway, we spoke about this last time. I don't think that there would be a toy uprising for the reason that human beings, when human beings have been and are enslaved, we have an instinct to know that it's unjust and it's unfair, and it has always been sort of an uprising in the sense that I'm being treated incredibly badly and I'm owned by my oppressor, so therefore I will, retaliate.
Yeah,
but
I want to change the situation. Yeah.
But the toys live for being played with. And
they do
enjoy being owned and sort of used for this child's amusement. So I don't know if it's this.
Is that a nature or a nurture thing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because they don't. I don't think they see themselves as slaves. It's only when sort of existential crises like with Lotso happen, that they sort of go, wait a minute, I'm just I'm just a bit of rubbish that anyone can just throw away. So it's like maybe if that happened like on a massive scale, let's say like toys were like outlawed or something like that, then maybe. But I don't know.
Okay, well, let's say, for the sake of argument, that a toy uprising could happen, or would happen, theoretically speaking.
Yeah.
What would happen? Would they literally be storming the gates of the White House? Would they be trying to usurp the power of a government? Would it be like what is it, Bobo? Is that the teddy bear that's Mr. Burns' teddy bear?
Yeah.
From that episode of The Simpsons? Is it Bobo? Or
Yeah.
something? Would it be like that? And would they be like, oh, this is Donald Trump's old teddy bear or something? It will kill itself and scream the whole time unless such a thing happens. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I really don't think that. Look, I think we'd be able to destroy them.
Do you really think so?
I don't know, because like, at the same time, it's like, yes, they are plastic and you could easily break them, but if they have the intelligence of human beings, they could probably find ways to kill us without us even knowing until we're sort of getting stabbed or something. So it's like one could be sneaking up behind me like right now.
Yeah.
It's not, but
I was wondering if you just checked.
Yeah, one of my Daleks is holding a knife.
His little suction cup
Yeah,
thing.
it's put blue tack on it and it's holding it. But the knife's too big, so it's just sort of falling over.
Okay, I've got another question then. Geographically speaking, where would the centre point of the revolution be? Would it be at the point of manufacture? Because they're born thinking, like the Buzz Lightyear dolls were born thinking that they were actually Buzz Lightyear, rather than being a toy.
Now, this is an interesting...
Or would it be the tip, where there's a high concentration of discarded and disheartened toys?
I don't know, because we know now from Toy Story 4 that human beings can just sort of will shit into existence. So maybe the toys don't become sentient until they're played with.
Okay.
But that wouldn't make sense, because we see that the toys are alive in the supermarket in Toy Story 2. So they've sort of shot themselves in the foot here, because on the one hand they're saying that yes, a fork can become alive and have an existential crisis, but only when it's played with by a child. But toys that aren't played with by children can also be alive. So who decides what's a toy?
Yeah. Where
Are there,
yeah.
But are there some
Is there
toys?
some kind of higher being that's just deciding these things?
Are there some toys? But I know for a fact that some toys are not used as toys. So do they have to be used as toys for it to work?
Do they need a steady diet of child love in a way? As in, does Bo Peep need to be consistently played with or dressed in different costumes or whatever? And if you just leave her on a shelf, will she wilt? Will she die?
I don't know.
Is that why they sort of so doggedly, determinedly follow kids and try to get played with? Is because they know that if they don't get that, they will die?
Yeah.
I have two more questions on this.
Go on.
What would the military tactics of a toy-based uprising be?
Infiltrate homes, and then
Yeah. Do you think sort of guerrilla warfare?
Yeah.
Hiding in the forest, sort of thing?
Marching down the streets is not going to get you anywhere, because you need to do it when no one's expecting it. Like right now. No.
So would it be like what's that Jordan Peele movie? Is it Us?
Yeah, a little bit like Us.
Yeah, where they just everybody all of a sudden they came out of the sewers and just killed everybody.
Yeah. Bit like that.
All of a sudden, the toys come to life, have a pair of golden scissors and a weird jumpsuit, if I'm remembering the film correctly, and then they just kill all of us.
There's gonna be some guy out there who's gonna see all this happen. He's gonna be like, it's like that film Us, but with toys.
And then he'll get murdered by his collectible antique porcelain doll from 1812.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I've got a confession to make, Lewis. Right.
Go on.
Last week when we were talking about Toy Story 1 and 2, I had a sort of I had a sort of meeting with myself, and I was thinking, what if the toys in my box and the eaves of the loft are alive, and maybe some are separate? Maybe I should keep them together. And then from there, I basically created a whole family, and I've given them personalities, I've given them names. Yeah.
That sounds like the kind of thing I would do as I was trying to fall asleep. As like lying there in bed thinking, yeah, but what about all those stuffed animals I used to have when I was a kid? Well, they're all in the attic, so what's going to happen next? So what about this? That does sound exactly like the kind of thing I would do.
I think I've taken it a bit too far, because they're actually pretty complex people.
Is one of them a doorman for a petrol station who is embittered by the capitalist system?
No, they're not living in a fake world. They're living in our world.
Oh, okay.
So they have to sort of traverse our world rather than some sort of made up sort of fantasy land in my head. So it's literally just these creatures that I pretend are alive when I'm not looking at them, and behave in the way that I've said that they would.
I see.
So I'm perpetrating in the system of slavery that I so detest for these toys.
I see.
I'm never playing with them, so they can just starve in there. I'm not going to take them out and sit on my floor and play with them, so they can become.
No, that'd be too kind.
Yep. I'm not doing it, because then the play time stops and they have to go back into the eaves.
Right. Well, I have a final question on the toy revolution.
Right.
What would the government, presuming the toy revolution succeeds,
right?
And it's like Buzz Lightyear is president of the United States of America.
Which one? There's about 1 million of them.
Oh God, yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
the Buzz Lightyear, the one that we follow throughout the Toy Story series.
Would there be a toy election, or would it be a dictatorship? Let's Sunnyside. Yeah.
What would a toy government look like? Is my question.
Well, I think
would it be a dictatorship? Would it be
maybe? Oh, maybe they would enslave human beings.
Like dog. What's that? Not Dog World. That episode of Rick and Morty where the dogs gain sentience.
Yeah, but like human beings are forced to play with them.
Oh, okay.
There's like
think up a made up world for me. What am I doing in this street?
Play with me.
That'd be very strange.
At gunpoint, you will play with me. You will enjoy yourself, or you're going to die. I would love to see. That's Toy Story 5, the final act. I'd actually be really interested to see how that would play out. But anyway.
But yeah, a toy-based government, would it be... Because obviously they live forever, presumably. Because Woody is like a collectible toy from the 50s or something.
I'd imagine...
And he's still alive and kicking in 2020. So, do they live forever? If it was a dictatorship, would it be some kind of horrific hellscape where it's constant civil war?
Yeah.
There's one side that are saying, this toy has been supreme leader of the world of toys. He's been the leader for 300 years.
Do you think...
Maybe we should get him out. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think there would be like a sort of schism that's formed between like plush toys, like teddy bears and all that, and then like plastic toys?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh God.
Because like that's the
No, Lewis, we're going down that hole. We're fucking backtrack. Go back.
No.
Reverse.
I want to talk about
I'm
this.
not talking about toy fascism, okay?
No, I'm not talking about toy.
That's
fascism.
what it
I'm talking
is.
about toy civil wars.
With
I'm saying that they would have a different outlook on life in a strange way. Because like the thing that unites the toys in Andy's house is that they are all in Andy's house. They all are subject to Andy's whims.
Yeah.
If they were subject to their own whims, would the soldiers even have anything to do with the piggy bank? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would they ever cross paths in day-to-day life?
You're not telling me, right? You're not telling me that if toys have the human sort of human intellect, that a few plastic toys would be like, I think we're better than toys made out of wool, and there would be some
like
sort of
Animal Farm style almost.
well, no.
No. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would mirror humanity's sort of history, but I guess it would be more sort of, I don't know, where does their intelligence come from? Because they think like adults about taking care of these children. So where does that come from? A child can will
imbued with this intelligence.
Yeah.
Like Buzz is imbued with this intelligence. He doesn't learn it.
Maybe that's what our reality is. Maybe the supreme being or God or whatever you want to call it is a stupid child who doesn't know anything but can just create things and just sort of sets them off, and we can. Our creator just doesn't know anything but has the imagination to just make things, and we're just left. But we somehow do it. Oh, that's really interesting now. Oh wow, who fucking knew, man? You could get all this from Toy Story 3 and 4. Oh god, oh my head. There's a vein about to pop, Lewis. Jesus Christ.
Right, I have a question.
Go on.
About Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Woody didn't expect Forky to come to life.
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Has the realisation not occurred to him? Because, like I say, he's a vintage toy from the 50s or whatever. Has the realisation not come to him? He is a collection of stuffing and cloth and plastic and just shaped into the shape of a cowboy doll thing. Has that realisation not come to him? That if you take a spork and attach some pipe cleaners to it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Now it doesn't make sense, some of it. Like, a lot of it doesn't actually, because it's like, when is a toy alive? Is it alive as soon as it's made in the factory? But I don't see how that can be true. But I don't see how it can only be when a child sort of imagines it into life, which would make sense, but that's not what they've done, like, canonically. So I don't know.
Yeah, is it like almost like a cheese or a wine? It has to mature in the box.
Yeah, maybe.
From as it leaves the factory to as it hits the shelf.
But
that period of time, is it maturing?
Forky seems like some sort of failed plan, doesn't he? Because his existential crisis is literally being trash or a possession. What a shit life.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what I want to be. A piece of property that can be disposed of at any given time, or a literal piece of garbage that can be thrown that is intended to be thrown out immediately. That's pretty dark now that I think about it.
And don't forget, there's all this stuff about like pollution and stuff about the plastic straw in your McDonald's milkshake will be around in 10,000 years. Forky is like a plastic fork.
Yeah.
He will be alive for 10,000 years.
Yeah, and does that mean that if he decides to be trash again, that he becomes trash? Because he tries to jump in the bin. Does that mean that he stops being alive? Maybe, if the children don't have access to the toy and don't play with them, no, that doesn't make sense either. Because we see toys that haven't been played with for years that are still alive. So
yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake, I don't know. So Forky is just a thing that's alive forever, wishing to be non-existent.
Maybe all items are self-aware, but toys are the only ones that can kind of express it.
Maybe.
In that they have mouths and noses and eyes and ears and all that sort of stuff. But like individual Lego pieces, then maybe they are alive, but they just have no way to communicate that. But they have no mouth or eyes or ears or...
But that seems to suggest that what toys think they are, or what inanimate objects think they are, just comes from human beings. Because a fork on its own isn't a piece of trash. It's a thing that you use to eat. So why hasn't Forky went, oh, please use me to eat?
Yeah, please stick me in a lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because he was put in the bin. So that was the last thing that a human thought about him. So therefore, the thing he becomes when he's brought to life by bot. See, it's so convoluted now. It's fucking with my head. Oh, that doesn't make sense.
No, I like that idea about the thing that a human was thinking when they created it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because that does that scans very vaguely of like... when somebody was designing the prototype Buzz Lightyear toy or designing the mold or whatever, they were thinking, oh yeah, Buzz Lightyear, that kid's TV show, Buzz Lightyear Star Command or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of with that. So are we presuming because Woody had a TV show? That's what's in Toy Story 2. So
Yeah.
did Woody originally think he just was a cowboy? Did he wake
Buzz
up? And he was
did.
like, well, where are the cows then?
Buzz
You know what I
Buzz
mean?
thought that he was a space ranger.
Mm.
So, but surely if Forky was brought to life, he would think that he was a fork. It's like, no, but I'm rubbish. It's like, yeah, but you're a fork before you're rubbish. If you're anything, you're a fork. It's like, no one's going to go, oh, look at this piece of rubbish. You're going to say, oh, look at this fork. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you washed him with the intent of reusing him,
So,
does he then think he's a fork?
okay, so if you put a toy in the bin before it came alive, would it then think that it's garbage and want to just jump in a bin? Is that what you're telling me, film? Is that what you're saying?
Well, then, what constitutes a bin? Because I've heard...
Oh shit! What does the bin think it is? What if the bin...
Then you start to think about, like... I wouldn't be surprised if in a factory or something they were like, oh yeah, in these big storage bins we keep the Buzz Lightyears before they get shipped off. So is that not in itself a bin?
What if I start playing with a bin? And it comes to life.
Eyes and a mouth,
What does it think it is? Oh, this is fucked.
Oh god.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna ruin this film for everyone, and it's gonna be really depressing. But it's actually quite funny when you think about it.
It's funny the fact that it's just so fucking insane.
It doesn't make any sense. We've just completely tore apart the fundamentals. Like, yes, children's imagination can bring toys to life. Yeah, but they can also bring forks. What else can children bring to life?
What if something's already alive and the child imagines it? Is it like...
What if some...
alive squared? Does it die?
What? Oh no! What if Woody's like used as a spoon, and he's like, "I am now a spoon." Can children bring dead things back to life? Like if I play with like the corpse of a dog, does the dog? It's an inanimate object. Does it then come back and say, "I am a toy," or something?
Or is it too organic to make that happen? What if you remove Woody's hat?
What if you
from his
stuff a
head
dog
and use that as a scoop or a spoon? Does the hat then think it's a spoon, and Woody has to deal with the fact that its hat keeps trying to leap into food?
Yeah. And see if you took like Woody's hand, would his hand just become a sentient thing by itself?
Or Woody, or is it like that sort of trope about Frankenstein where his hand gets detached and then it stands up and walks back to his fingers and jumps back onto his arm?
What if I stuff a dog? That's not organic, and I started playing with it, and then it sort of willed itself. Would it remember being a dog?
I don't know. What if it's like it? No, not it. What's it called? The Thing. What if it's like The Thing?
Oh,
the relative size of the creature is a factor in its intelligence. In the fact that Woody and Buzz Lightyear are sort of relatively the same size as each other, and they're kind of human intelligence, and so is Bo Peep, and like all the toys are sort of similar sizes to one another. But then the T-Rex is massive, and he's stupid.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense, because if the pieces of things were individual sort of, why isn't Forky's arms its own thing?
How are they attached to Forky? Are they sort of tied?
Yeah,
around
they're
him,
sort of
aren't they?
tied right. Why isn't that sentient? And why is it? Maybe it has to sort of resemble a person. Maybe it's like God made human beings in his own image, sort of thing.
Well, I suppose a person or an animal.
Yeah, because children play with their food, don't they? That doesn't mean that the food then comes alive and is like a toy, does it? So maybe it has to. You actually have to sort of create a sort of person, or. But that doesn't make sense. Again.
But then, if a child constructs a paper mache dog, does it think it's a dog? Does it have human level intelligence?
Yeah. And
does it have child level intelligence?
there's a karaoke machine that's alive.
Yeah.
Why is
a karaoke machine really a toy?
Why is it? That's not a toy.
Yeah, you have fun while using it and doing it, but is it a toy?
Does that mean the Xboxes are alive?
Because I would class an Xbox as a toy, I think.
I would class it as a console. I don't know. I would say it's a toy.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it is a console, but I'd say consoles as a concept, they're kind of a toy. They're kind of a very sort of weird toy. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a funny way of going about it, but technically it's kind of a toy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So it's
convoluted. That's the word I'm going for.
So if a karaoke machine can be alive and be a toy, maybe Andy uses it as a toy, and like uses it in his sort of narrative with the other.
It's like a Borg cube or he's imagining.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But then that goes back to, well, inanimate objects can then be used as toys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm lost now.
What is the smallest thing? Could you pick up a pebble, use it as a toy? Pick up a grain of sand, a grain of rice?
Yeah.
A tiny little piece of sugar or salt?
Your fingernail.
Yeah.
A strand of hair. Fucking hell.
Plus, what constitutes playing with in that scenario?
Yeah, if you just shake it around, does that mean that's it? It's like Aladdin's lamp? I don't...
Yeah, what's Aladdin's lamp? You have to rub it 3 times.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Maybe it depends on the child.
Maybe.
Which would be fucking even worse. Because then it's like... Can a child decide its personality, or is it just random?
What if the child has a really low sort of barrier for entry on what is or is not a toy? So then they're walking along a beach, and with each footstep, the perimeter of each footstep, those sand grains become alive. But they're next to sand grains that they aren't dead. They're just not alive. They're inert. They're. This is really fucking insane.
I know, we've absolutely spiraled out of control now.
I see. Well, we are approaching the time limit. Have you got any more CRQs you want to ask?
I think the grand narrative of Toy Story 4 should have been the toys eventually say, look, we're just going to get our hearts broken. Yeah. Let's live with our family and our friends in this place where we don't have to, be disposable anymore to human beings. I think that's what they should have went for, rather than just Woody leaving.
It'd sort of be a more valuable experience, wouldn't it, to see that unfold and to see them develop a happy lifestyle rather than kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. This comment is for one of our patrons, Sophie Bell. I didn't cry when I watched Toy Story 3. So there you go. Sophie claimed that if I didn't cry during Toy Story 3, I'm heartless. That's what she said. So, quite a...
I don't know if I could cry watching.
Quite a high standard for having human decency. If you don't cry at this film, you're a psychopath.
Because I think in rewatches, you're less likely to cry. I don't remember the first time I watched Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Maybe I cried, maybe I didn't. I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah, I know I didn't.
I deliberately went into it hard as steel, cold as ice.
I've only got so many tears left.
I'm not going to waste them on a film. Yeah,
I've got about 5 left in my life. I'm gonna save them for my death. And like Ron Swan's acceptable at funerals and the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, but 5 isn't even an even number. Which eye gets more tears?
Yeah, that's true. And Ron Swanson sort of double backed on that, because he said that it's only acceptable at funerals and the Grand Canyon. But then when little Sebastian, the horse died, he said, I've cried 2 times in my life. When I was hit by a bus and when little Sebastian. So you're allowed to cry over the death of a horse and when you are severely injured. And also the Grand Canyon. And funerals.
That really makes me laugh. That song of 5,000 Candles in the Wind. Leslie just, what's it she says to Andy? Something like, I need it to be like a really sad funeral song. Everybody's gonna be crying by the end of it. Everybody's got to be really sad.
Yeah.
You know, like that Elton John song, "Candle in the Wind," and he goes, "Oh, like Candle in the Wind." And she goes, "Yeah, but even sadder." And then it cuts to Andy later in the episode, and he goes, "Right, so Candle in the Wind, it's really sad, but what's sadder than a candle in the wind? 5,000 candles in the wind." And it just really tickles me every time.
I love the bit where Ben is sitting with Ron and Leslie in the office. He's like, "Okay, everything's set for the horse funeral." And Ron is so offended. He's like, "What was that tone?" And Ben's like, "What? Nothing." And he's looking at him, absolutely raging. Oh, it's funny.
I have one note left.
Okay.
The antique shop looks really cool, and I want to go.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I like a good antique
It certainly
shop.
does, but it's not real, Lewis.
Can't I go anyway, please?
I just want to say one more thing about Lotso. And because I was watching a video with and it was Stephen Fry that was in it last night, and he said that the worst sort of feeling to have, more than hatred or sort of wrath or anything like that, is self-pity, because it destroys everything around it but not itself. And that's something that I think Lotso is like crippled with, just like, because Lotso suffered a very horrible experience, but I don't think that he was all plushy and sunshine before that.
Beforehand,
because he was very controlling of who got to sort of be with Daisy, and as soon as that was challenged, he refused to let her other two toys, who loved her very much as well, stay, and he sort of took them away and sort of put his own horrible bitterness onto them when they hadn't been replaced. It was just him. So
it is almost like he has some kind of pre-existing trauma that pre-exists the even worse trauma. Yeah.
Maybe his personality is just, it was just a horrible event that was to set him off, It's like Walter White. It's like Walter White. I don't think Walter White was a very good man to begin with. I think he was just passive, and often horrible people, or people who are damaged or immoral, will often just want a sort of event to sort of set them off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
What's that word?
A trigger.
Yeah. Oh, a catalyst. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. But yeah. But other than that, I think I'm done.
Excellent. Have you got a closing statement?
I do. I'm sorry if I've ruined this film series for you. I do like it, and I appreciate how moving these films are, but I'm a pessimistic fuck, so I hope Lewis has a better statement.
I do not. My closing statement is toys, but they're alive. What the hell? I think the thing that I'm taking away from these two podcasts we've done is the absolute insanity that springs from a world in which this is the case.
Yeah,
because it's such a fundamental turning on the head of our understanding of the world that it just bears so much consideration. That's what I'm taking from these.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. We've been trying for a couple of episodes now to sort of get away from sort of chaos or just depressive motifs in our podcasts, and we're not doing very well at it.
To be honest though, this one hasn't been less depressing, more just
bizarre,
embracing of the chaos.
Yeah. I'd rather it be chaotic than sort of moody or depressing.
Me too.
So maybe we can have it a bit more normal next week. Probably won't.
Maybe.
But I'm willing to give it a go. But yeah, that was Toy Story 3 and 4.
Indeed it was. Have we got some shilling and credits and all that stuff to
do? we do. I am on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K. Actor, and I am on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I have a Twitter called LewisBrindley4, and I have a Facebook page which is Lewis Brindley.
Yes. We are on.
And I can't wait to get out of this insanely hot room.
We're nearly there. We are on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. We have a YouTube channel which is growing very nicely. I think we're getting some more people on there, which is great. We love that.
Yes,
we
are.
Like to see
I love
that.
the YouTube channel very much.
Yep. We're on Deezer. We're on Google Podcasts. We may or may not be on Amazon Podcasts, but fuck you, Amazon.
Who knows at this point?
Just get that in there. Completely and utterly undermine our shilling and just be a couple of hypocrites. And we also have a PayPal donate button. We're on Patreon, and we want to thank our wonderful patrons who support us unconditionally and are basically toys that love us.
Oh my god, no. Say the name.
No, we want to thank you guys so much. You keep us going. Chloe, Darius, Sophie, Peter, Aditya, and Richard, thank you so much.
Indeed, thank you so much, each and every one of you. You are all good eggs. Thank you.
Amazing eggs.
Amazing eggs. The kind of egg where you look at it and you go, "Whoa, that is an egg! Wow,
what an egg!" We also have merch. We sell mugs, t-shirts, jumpers, tote bags, stickers, loads of stuff you've never needed that you still don't need.
Can you imagine the things that you might need? Because we probably sell it, so go and check it out.
And you'll find them on Teespring and Redbubble, but we'll leave the link somewhere.
Indeed we will. The link will be in the description or the show notes, or it'll be within arm's reach, wherever it might be.
Yep. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with an amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue. And Lewis, this one's all yours.
Thank you very much. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my amazing wife, where she crochets things, and she is scarily good at it. Just last night she started crocheting a blanket as we were sat there watching TV, as you do, and literally every now and then, because I was reading a book, and every now and then I'd look up and she'd have stealthily done a bit more blanket, and be like, oh my god, the blanket is like growing like Day of the Triffids style over the sofa, and I'm like, oh my god, this is terrifying. But the actual crochet she does is absolutely beautiful, really good stuff. The Instagram is at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. All words, no abbreviations, no letters. Well, some letters, no numbers. Go and check it out. The Instagram is beautiful. The products are amazing. Go and take a look. Thank you very much.
No letters. It's all punctuation.
Yes, it's an elaborate Braille punctuation system.
It's Morse code. But yeah, that's us.
That is indeed
amazing. What are we doing? What are we doing next week, Lewis?
Well, I know what we're doing next week, so I want to ask you to see if you know.
I do know.
Oh, fantastic!
We are doing.
Because I didn't know. Fuck.
we are doing the Lorax, I believe.
Yes, I fucking love Lorax. Such a classic.
I could have said any film there, couldn't I?
Yeah,
I could have gotten.
You could have said anything.
I could have said fucking any film, but I respectfully went with the one that you wanted to do. So I'll get you next time.
I've written it down now. You will. You'll be like, oh yes, next week we're doing Inglourious Bastards. Didn't I say we'd do Emperor's New Groove, Danny? No. You specifically requested.
Did you fuck? I think what we need to do now, after the Lorax, is go to our fucking massive database of.
Yes, all the things people wanted to do on Patreon. We'll slowly start making our way through.
Yeah, that. I think that's an idea. Get your money's worth, eh? But yeah, thank you so much for listening. We love doing this, and we'll see you, smell you, create you, will you into life, and then discard you next time.
Indeed, we will. Yes, we'll see you then. Tune in for Laura. Thanks for listening.
Bye.